What a beautiful morning for it. This is Staffordshire, isn't it?
Yep.
This is, yes. I was going to say welcome to Derbyshire, but we're in the Peak District, but we're in Staffordshire. Today we're going to be having a look at, it's another spin you around actually, so it's in the background, another light railway. I've got the name of this, the Manifold.
Leek and Manifold.
Leek and Manifold light railway. We're at Hulme End today. We've got the old station building just behind us there. We've got a cafe that's built on the site of the old goods shed. But what we're going to do, we're going to finish here. We're going to get on our bikes, cycle. Is that? What is that? Kind of plane, some whooshing plane, all weird. We're going to get on our bikes 8 miles down to the other end of the line. Is it Waterhouses? Waterhouses. And then we're going to film coming back, so you'll see this video, whether it's 1 or 2, I've not decided yet, but you'll see us back here at the end of this adventure. So right, I'll see you down at Waterhouses. Looks a bit uncomfortable, this seat, Phil. Is that?
You're not going to get your leg over there, mate.
It's a bit high.
Well, you told me the other week you're 6 foot. Go on, the cushion's giving it extra 3 inch. Come on. Do you want some help? Have I got to get a toolbox out?
The Leek and Manifold Valley Light Railway, to give it its full title, operated for 30 years between 1904 and 1934. If you explore many disused railways around the North and Midlands of England, you're going to be talking about heavy industry and minerals such as coal and limestone, etc. It's rather sweet that today we're talking about dairy as the main bread and butter of this railway, pardon the pun. The blue line here is the North Staffordshire line back towards Leek. We're interested in the pink line today. This line meanders its way for 8 miles through lush green but sparsely populated valleys in the Staffordshire moorlands. So how long's that taken us? About 45 minutes ride up that, I think.
All it was.
56 minutes, watch has been rolling. Right, this is Waterhouses, Waterhouses. 8 miles up from Hulme End, where we started filming today. And this is the other end of the line, isn't it? So we're just gonna have a look round and talk about what's going on here. If we swing you around there, we've got a wooden building. Let's have a walk over, Phil. And this is the old goods shed. Really interesting setup here, because we're going to discuss and we're going to look at the narrow gauge railway today. It wasn't just the narrow gauge railway at play here. We also had a standard gauge line that came in. If you remember Churnet Valley Railway, that line to Whipstones, or Ipstons, however how you say it, coming this way, that's where this line came, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the terminus to that line.
Well, it was a slightly later arrival, wasn't it, to join on with the narrow gauge section. They didn't quite start off in unison with each other.
But it was an interesting setup, wasn't it? Because how they transferred trains from the narrow gauge railway to the full fat, the standard gauge railway. And there's a nice little old video to show you of them loading a wagon on, because they basically piggybacked. But was this the narrow gauge side? I can't remember. We just had a look, haven't we, on the map?
I think every time I look, we sit thinking, hold on a minute, it's quite difficult to work out, isn't it, what we're going off here, which side was narrow gauge.
But I'll just show you the ramp just from a bit of a distance back. Look, you can see platform edge there on the side of this. What was this then? Is this like being used for something else in the meantime?
I don't think this was a transshipment point. If you look at this structure now, I mean, the metal work on there look original, don't they? But it could have had a bit of a rebuild. The base looks original, but that is implying that goods were either tuck in that side, and originally I thought they'd just go out. It were a transfer point from narrow gauge to standard, but there's no opening on the other side.
No.
So I'm not quite sure what the story is about it. Well, there's no in or out on this side, is there, look?
No, there's not.
As we've just mentioned, Waterhouses was an interchange between the Leek and Manifold Valley Light Railway and the standard gauge North Staffordshire Railway onwards to Leek. This photo really helps out what we were just discussing. We can actually see the standard gauge tracks flanking both sides of the goods shed. Narrow gauge is visible on the far two tracks, but look at the interchange sidings in the middle that allowed standard gauge milk tanks to be loaded directly onto the narrow gauge transporter wagons. It looks like there was a fair bit of shunting to do at Waterhouses. With milk and dairy being the main haul, this was initially carried in milk churns in open wagons. You'll see examples of the silver milk churns at many heritage railways. However, later on, milk tankers were used. Of what I understand was the only example in the UK, standard gauge milk tankers were piggybacked on the narrow gauge low loader style wagons. This led to some interesting loading footage of the milk tanks being carefully rolled onto the back of narrow gauge wagons. Basically a big train having a ride on a smaller train.
Not all that generous with the amount of space either if you're working on that platform, you know?
No. Maybe they just loaded through the door,
Yeah.
in and out the door, just move the wagons up, which would back up what this,
Yeah, that's foot grip, isn't it?
yeah, just in front of this door here, into the shed. Yeah, so this, according to the quick Wikipedia, there's a station plan on there. This was standard gauge at this side.
Where we're now, it was standard.
So we're stood in the, I suppose, in the loading area for the standard gauge track bed. The light railway, the Manifold Valley Light Railway, that closed in 1934. But the standard gauge side here kept going until the 1940s for some goods. In 1943, the line between Colden Junction and Waterhouses closed. This is just outside Waterhouses station. This is standard gauge line off towards Leek and such. Just come down just to have a look at this bridge. It's an information board just by that bridge for Waterhouses, telling you a little bit about the station, the Manifold Valley Light Railway.
I suspect that would took off at top of Thor's Cave. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it's a good shout, isn't it?
Yeah, look at that lovely picture how they used to do it.
Is that some of those piggybacked
Yeah, it looks like
wagons?
it's Egton Creamery, I think.
Phil's just coming down that ramp there. That bridge we've just been filming is up there. We've just been stood on the old, what we thought was the old goods platform for the standard gauge railway, and now we're just getting more and more questions in our own minds, aren't we?
Yeah.
That's quite a sizable difference in height, isn't it? Where the standard gauge railway is coming off that bridge.
Yeah,
from
it could never have dropped down to be level with that goods shed in that little space that we've got here.
So it's going across there, isn't it, on
Yeah.
that embankment there?
Again, if you pull up that view, the line on the left is visibly on a negative gradient, and this confirms what we were just trying to figure out. So it crossed from the bridge onto the banking that we just saw, then passed behind the goods shed. A rail map online shows this up quite well, the blue being the standard gauge arriving from the left of the map, and the pink being our Leek and Manifold heading away to the right. The actual station can be seen labelled further to the right, but we'll get to that shortly.
I think it's still on the banking at the other side of the shed, if I'm being honest, Phil.
Yeah, Staffordshire County Council, can we have some information boards, please? I mean, there's a bridge here, look, have you noticed?
Is there?
Yeah.
So did this bridge carry both standard gauge and narrow gauge then?
Not wide enough, is it?
No. But then again, single track. Don't know. When we're leaving Waterhouses, the road on this side has been widened and possibly realigned, which has affected the track bed of the Manifold Valley Light Railway immediately after leaving that goods area. Wow, I completely didn't see this bridge when we drove over, rode over it earlier.
Spot it either. Probably because we were really getting ready to have a sit down and a drink. We just like got tunnel vision.
So we've just been stood above that. What do you think? Do you think it's still wide enough for two?
It looks it from down here, but I have a feeling this could have been station access approach.
Yeah. So that's the theory. Because we've just been stood around what's the goods area, we think. And the Waterhouses station was just a little bit further on the line. And there's this road that comes underneath the railway, or a former road. It's only a narrow track, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's at the mercy of nature, isn't it? It is a hardcore surface, look. Yeah, I'd say so.
This is the top of the access road. Well, we call it an access road. Just looking back down there, that tree's blocking the way now. And this is back up on the path where we think, do you know that the trouble with this one, we've noticed very early on this is we can't find a decent map, a detailed map that shows where lines were, like you see on those early National Library of Scotland maps. There's not much clues, there's not much evidence lying around, is there?
That's a good clue, but a clue to what? It looks like access to what, though?
And we think both lines came all the way down here because the station, it has a platform, doesn't it? And there's a platform for the narrow gauge, which would have been a lot lower, and then the standard gauge.
Well, you can see looking down the track bed, it's been reprofiled, look, everything else. It's not a true track bed probably in a minute, you know, it kind of disappears, doesn't it?
Waterhouses station had the standard gauge platform and narrow gauge platform side by side. The narrow gauge side was slightly lower and closest to the road. I believe from my interpretation of the site these days that the majority of the track bed for the light railway has been lost to the road widening. That waiting room seems very top heavy, an unusual look, and space on the platform's obviously an issue. But take a look at the bottom right of this photo. I'm wondering if that's the ramp heading down to where we were just looking under that bridge. Now take a look at that signal box in the background of this video. Now, Waterhouses signal box controlled both the standard gauge and the Manifold Valley lines. The signal box sat for many decades on a farm just up the line at Wetton. It was moved to the Hartington Railway near Stafford, where it's been splendidly restored.
So we're dropping down the path, the current modern day footpath takes us off this higher shelf, just drops down onto the road now. Just looking back, if we're trusting Rail Map Online and where that's saying the station is, this is be the location of the station site. Again, we think it's the road's been widened on that side. Has it taken away some of the land of the station? And because it's just a slope on that side, isn't it? It's not easy to, you wouldn't ever look at this and think, yeah, station site. Not in a million years. We've got some old fence posts there. We've got a little shelf or a little embankment just running alongside of the path here. The railway's about now to going to swing over, isn't it? Yeah. Just go over, cross over the river for the first time, right in front of us. So there's that little embankment just through those trees on the side of the road. It's about to swing a sharp left now over the road. And look, on this little side road, look, got some gate posts still. Oh, in fact, the gate's still there. Look. It's put you in the rhubarb. Can you see the meshing on the metal gate? Yeah. The gate's still there, and it's still on this side.
The metal as well, look.
Yeah. There are two fully formed gates there.
So I wonder if it were a precautionary measure on the approach to the level crossing where they would stop it before somebody went ahead and checked if the road were clear and did the gates, you know, I don't know.
Possibly, yeah. I'm trying to get you a good shot. There's a lot of bushes and trees, and can you make out the gates?
Yeah, it's definitely come through one track, hasn't it? It's come through here, swerving left, just about to go over onto the first crossing, like you said earlier.
I'll just fetch you out here, you'll see. So it's quickly swinging to the left and crossing the roads just here.
What about the locomotives that worked on this line? There were two steam engines built by Kitson & Co. of Leeds in 1904. Number 1 was named E.R. Calthrop and number 2 was J.B. Earl, both named after engineers of the line. There were several unique features on these locos, most noticeably the large headlight at the base of the chimney. Sadly, both locos were scrapped after the line closed. A nameplate can be seen in the museum at Towing on the Tallyclyn Railway. None of the passenger coaches survived. We've already seen the low loader wagons and milk tankers earlier in this video. As a result, some stations that handled dairy traffic had a narrow gauge siding with a length of standard gauge track that full-size wagons could be held for loading before being added to the smaller wagons. As we cross the road and the River Hamps for the first time, that seems like a good time to end this episode. In part 2, we'll be travelling on the old track bed for the entire 8 miles to Hulme End. We'll be looking at the present day sites of the former stations and halts and anything else railway related that we find on our way. So thanks for watching, and thanks to everyone that supports the channel by becoming a channel member, sending a super thanks, and via my Buy Me a Coffee page. We'll see you next time.